Welcome to Flow of Miracles month's energy reading for February. And we're moving from the chariot energy to help us to move forward rapidly and do lots of things into the Ten of Swords ruin reversed. So that is definitely not a card that we'd like to see. As you can see in the picture, you see lots of swords going to the middle and all breaking down. And the Ten of Swords is mental energy breaking down. It usually means painful lessons, figuring out that doing everything the rational way doesn't always bring the best results, and dealing with a lot of disappointment. So, of course, we don't like to see that. We like to have happy energy. But at the same time, it's so important sometimes to realize that things go wrong, that we actually need to acknowledge how we feel about some things and how it impacts us so we can truly learn the lesson and move on. Often, when trauma happens, we shy away from that because it's a horrible feeling and we don't want to deal with it. But the tough times in life do help us out. So, the do's this month are resilience, support, and self care. So, whenever bad stuff happens, it reminds us that we're strong, it reminds us that we're resilient, it helps build up our own confidence. Everybody says after hitting rock bottom, it hurts, but at the same time, it gives you the energy to move upward and forward. So, that is also why the Ten of Swords reverse, that in some decks shows a figure stabbed with 10 swords, might be the ending of some things, but at the same time, it shows us that we can move forward even after betrayal, even after pain, even after disappointment. So, whatever happens this month that makes you grit your teeth and shed a few tears, remind yourself that you're building your resilience. The second do is seek support. When we are betrayed, when we are hurting, when we are bleeding on the floor, we don't have to do it on your own. It is so important that we actually find our support in the people around us, in institutions or organizations, in friends, in colleagues, and of course in heaven, God, the universe, whatever higher power you're comfortable with. So allow yourself some support and actually open up to people who might surprise you because they went through the same or are able to help you in ways that you didn't think were possible. And last but not least, do some self care. When we feel so awful, when it feels so depressing, when it feels like the end of the world and the ending of something very precious in our lives, it's so important to do self care. So, journal your feelings, take some venting sessions, give yourself a nice, relaxing bath, treat yourself to your favorite coffee, and remind yourself bad times end. That is also why the don'ts this month are don't despair, don't get cynical, and don't get into victimhood. So it's very easy with this kind of energy that is just so saddening and upsetting to despair that that is the only thing that is ever going to happen in your life and nothing is ever going to be better. But of course, next month there will be new energy, and no matter how much it hurts, time does heal all wounds. And it's so important for us to acknowledge that this pain is temporary and we can and will move forward. Don't be cynical. When we're hurting a lot, it's easy to feel like nobody is there for us. It's easy to feel like nothing is going to be better. It's easy to feel like all human beings are shit. But the person who betrayed you was being shit to you, and that doesn't mean all human beings are shit. So take some time, especially this month, to remind yourself not to be cynical about yourself and about others, and acknowledge that every human being has their bad sides, but also they're good. And last but not least, don't get into victimhood. When we do have this kind of disappointing energy, when we do feel very harmed, it's very easy to feel like the victim and just stay down and just acknowledge that you're hurting and don't do anything about it. But we need to learn a lesson. We need to process this pain. We need to actually move forward. And I always say we don't deserve to be treated badly. We don't deserve bad things happening to us, but we do have the responsibility to deal with that instead of sinking into victimhood and trying to get other people to rescue us or give us more because we feel sad about ourselves and we feel like the world owes us more. It doesn't. So while it's not the best energy, I hope you have a wonderful month. And if you need some more support, you know where to find me.